All systems go. Clear for liftoff. Hello, welcome to this week's NASCAR Quick Hit here at SHIPIT Nation. I am Eric, also known as TheGame on Discord, and tonight or this morning, we are going to be discussing the Xfinity 500 taking place at the world's fastest paperclip, also known as Martinsville Speedway. As always, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It only takes you a few seconds, and it really does go an incredible long way in helping us with the YouTube algorithm. Before we go ahead and break down the Xfinity 500 taking place at Martinsville Superspeedway, let me, of course, mention us. Where's my screen share? Here we go. ShipItNation.com, your one-stop shop for everything you need to have success and fun with daily fantasy sports. You can use code NBA15 for 15% off a monthly all access or yearly all access. And of course, sports included are NBA, college football, the NFL, golf, MMA, NHL, baseball, even though baseball just finished. Baseball's included when it starts next season. And of course, while we're here, NASCAR. You get the Shiptimizer, projections, ownership, the stone, the core reports, the slate plans for featured slates, showdown slates, and of course, education courses by Hoop and Tambo. If you haven't already, please, you owe it to yourself to check it out. ShipItNation.com. All right, let me go get my notes here. Let me pull up my fancy track sheet. Make sure I don't miss anything here. All right, this week, Green Flag is at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and TV coverage is on NBC in the US and TSN5 for our friends in the Great White North. As always, well, not as always, when we're not at a super speedway, we are focused on Dominator points, which is what we will absolutely be focusing on this weekend. We have 500 laps around the half mile of Martinsville, which equals out to a major 350 total Dominator points. 350. That is huge. You absolutely want to target those points. And you should be considering at least 3 Dominators per lineup. Now, with the way qualifying shook out and some potential chalk midway and in the rear of the field, that will be interesting. But yeah, 2 to 3 Dominators per lineup is what's recommended. All right, let's go ahead here and break down our starting lineup. And let me pull up here, screen share here. And I'm just going to apologize in advance. Diwali fireworks just started in my neck of the woods, and my dogs hate said fireworks. So it's quiet for now, and I kind of hope the dogs don't bark in the middle of it. But if they do, I'm just going to mute myself and wait till they're done. All right, let's go ahead and break down the starting lineup of the Xfinity 500. Let me get my notes. Where's my notes? There's my notes. Boom. All right, starting with our pole sitter, Martin Truex Jr., 9,300 on DK, 10.5 on FanDuel, plus 1,600 on the books. As I've mentioned these past couple of weeks, time is ticking for old Martin Truex Jr. His penultimate race, it's not only the penultimate race of the NASCAR season, it's the penultimate race of his career. He has yet to make it into victory lane this season. And personally, I thought if he had any chance to do it, it would have been at Homestead last weekend. But the number 19 Toyota came out fast in every aspect of practice, the short run, the long run, lightning. The only thing they have to go for is a victory. They don't got to worry about playoff points or anything like that. Truex seems like a smash play. He ain't going to win Phoenix next week. That's a little spoiler alert. There's no way he's winning Phoenix next week. Watch, I say that, and watch he wins Phoenix. If he's going to win, I think tomorrow, as I'm recording this at Martinsville, will be where he has a chance to do it, or his best chance to do it, rather. Next up, starting second outside pole, is Chase Elliott. He is a playoff driver. That is important. He is minus 43 points back from the cutoff line, and he pretty much needs to win on Sunday to advance to the championship 4. In fact, I think only one, maybe 2 Hendricks cars will make it. But there's going to be one upset Hendrick driver, not in the playoffs. Chase has the best chance, best starting position, amazing in practice. William Byron also in the playoffs. He's currently 4th in the playoffs, and he's only 7 points above the cutoff line. So while Chase was 43 under it, Willie B is 7 above it. He needs a good day. He can't shit the bed. He can't. If he falters and finishes like 20th on back and everybody else excels, Willie B's not in the playoffs. So Willie B needs a good day on Sunday. Chase Briscoe. One of these things is not like the other. Truex, Elliott, Byron, Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe, though, excels at Martinsville. I've seen him in person twice excel at the paperclip. I'm not sure why, because him and Brian Priest, who we'll get to in a few drivers, do really well here. Fast in the short run and practice, not so good in the long. However, he is talented enough here at Martinsville that I will be having him in my pool. Ty Gibbs, I don't have much to say about old Ty Gibbs. Will he be in my pool? Yes. Am I planning to go, extremely overweight on him? No. Yeah, I think the playoff storyline drivers are much more better plays. That's horrible English, but they're very better plays. That's even worse English than Ty Gibbs on Sunday. Harrison Burton, we're fading him. Alex Bowman, not in the playoffs. The cheapest Hendrick driver at 7,700. Really bad in the short runs during practice, but decent at the long run. I'll be having him in my pool. I don't plan, like I said, to go overweight or underweight on him, but he'll be in there. Ryan Priest, I love me some Ryan Priest. I only ever really play Ryan Priest at super speedways and Martinsville. And this is Martinsville. Ryan Priest, you've made it into the pool this weekend. Kyle Larson, 9th. We know what we're getting with Young Money. Larson is currently 5th in points, and he is 7 points under the playoff line. So Willie B, as I mentioned earlier, was 4th in the playoffs and 7 points above the line. Well, Young Money Larson is 5th in playoffs and 7 under. Excellent in the long run. Excellent here at Martinsville. If you've been playing DFS, NASCAR DFS all season, you know what you're getting with Larson. I much prefer him here at Martinsville, where he can't spin himself out with his aggression and his daring moves, as opposed to like last week at Martinsville. So, of course, I'll be having exposure to Larson, but he is the most expensive. So, something to consider. Austin Dillon, fade. Josh Berry, I will be considering him for the pool just because of how good Chase Briscoe and Ryan Priest are. Joey Logano, I planned on fading him all week. He is locked into the playoffs. He does not care in theory about this race. However, his speeds weren't terrible. middle of the road in practice. I'm still probably going to fade him because there's so many other drivers in and around that same price point who needs this victory so much more than he does. So I'm probably going to fade just on that basis. But yeah, Logano could be an interesting play on Sunday. Todd Gilliland, he did tire testing here. I believe the testing happened late summer. And that translated into really good practice and really good qualifying. Good practice in the short run, not so great in the long run. However, he's starting far enough up in the field where he should not get lapped in the beginning of the race. And that, I like that. I like not having a driver not a lap down at the end of stage one. So I will be having him in my pool just because of that. Ryan Blaney, he's the second on the books compared to Larson. I think Larson's what, 425? Blaney's plus 550. Blaney is a boss at Martinsville, a boss. A plus track rank, I think, off the top of my head. Short run wasn't the best in practice. Long run, excellent. He is currently 7th in the playoff points and is 38 points under the cutoff line. Remember how I said earlier that Chase Elliott essentially needs a victory to advance into the championship 4? So does Ryan Blaney. And from a DFS standpoint, Ryan Blaney gives you better place differential than Chase, but Chase gives you Dominator upside. So, it's gonna be a fun slate on Sunday. Daniel Hemrick, 15th. Look, awful practice, super slow. No idea how he pulled the 15th place starting spot out of his ass. However, he's cheap at 5,200. And if I'm considering Todd Gilliland at 6,600 because of his starting position and keeping insulated from being a lap down at the end of stage one, I would be stupid not to consider Hemrick for the same reasons. He ain't going to get ownership. And if he can stay on the lead lap, he might sneak you a top 20 finish, which could be all you need from him at that price point. So he will probably be my preferred pump play of the slate. Christopher Bell has been having an amazing run in the playoffs. And he's currently 3rd in the playoff standings, 29 points above the playoff line. He's not safe by any stretch of the imagination. He needs a solid day on Sunday to advance into the championship 4. However, he doesn't need to lead every lap. He doesn't need to win. He just needs some decent stage points performances. I will have him in my pool because of how talented he is and the run he's having lately. I just don't think he's going to be going for it as hard as everybody else will be. Michael McDowell, I'm super indifferent on him. He is mid here in every sense of the word. Mid practice, mid in the books, mid for his track ranking. Meh. Brad K, 8,000. If he was like 7,500, I'd be all about it. But an $8,000 Brad K on the books or on DraftKings, I personally am not going to get there. Bubba Wallace also tire tested here at Martinsville, and he was amazing in practice, and he's $200 cheaper than Keselowski. So if you're wondering why I'm not going to go to Keselowski, because I'm taking the $200 savings with Bubba. Daniel Suarez, mi amigo, 7K on DraftKings. He was good in practice, except for the long run. 22nd in the 20 lap ranking and 22nd in the 25 lap ranking. Probably not going to get there. Eric Jones. I really like Eric Jones as a race car driver. Legacy Motor Club is the shits. I'm not getting there. Ross Chastain, I love his aggression. In fact, I love him in these playoffs even more so that he's not in it because of how aggressive he can be because he's not racing for points. But just like Suarez, decent in the like one lap, but then really falls off over the long run. And you need a long run car here at Martinsville. Kyle Busch, also tire tested here at Martinsville. I will be having him in my pool due to that. However, practice speeds, not so good, Bob. Austin Cindric, I am fading with confidence. Noah Gragson, I will be playing. I shouldn't say I'll be playing. I'll be having him in my pool just because of how good his teammates are here. I'm kind of hoping some of that, not driver talent, but car notes from the various crew chiefs has made its way to the Gragson machine of Stewart-Haas Racing. Chris Buescher, even though Buescher was not good in practice at all, I would play him over Brad K just for the place differential upside. But yeah, no, the practice speeds aren't there for me. Young Carson Hocevar. I am once again here to beat the Carson Hocevar drum. Ran great here in the Truck Series, performed well here in the springtime, and has had a decent run at short flat tracks lately. 6,700. I wish he was starting a bit further up in the field to keep him insulated from potentially going a lap down in stage one. But I will be having exposure to Hocevar. Old Recky Stenhouse Jr. I am fading him. I don't want Recky at Martinsville, and I don't want Recky at plus 75,000, and I don't want Recky with those practice speeds. Shane Van Gisbergen. I love me some SVG. I don't love me SVG here at Martinsville. First next gen cup start here at Martinsville normally does not lead to good things. Only 6,200 though. And there is a possible upside that the hard braking at Martinsville. So if you aren't aware, Martinsville is essentially a half-mile paperclip. 2 long straightaways, 2 very tight U-turns. There is a possibility that the hard braking zones going into turns 1 and turns 3 will benefit SVG due to the hard braking that's found in road courses, right? However, that's totally just a theory idea on my part, and I'm probably going to fade him. But if you want to play him, I do understand it. Justin Haley, I love me some Justin Haley. Horrible during the short run. But then look at the 25 and the 30, 8th and 7th. You can't ignore that. Tyler Reddick, playoff driver who is locked in. He just doesn't. I love Reddick. If Reddick was not locked into the playoffs and he was starting at this position, I would play him all day. But the fact is, he is locked into the playoffs. He slow in the short run, decent over the long run. I just don't know how much Reddick I'm going to get to at that price range and his or at that price and at his starting position. John Hunter Nemechek of Legacy Motor Club, fade. Kaz Grala. I like to play Kaz, but not this weekend. Fade. Corey LaJoy, you know I'm fading. Josh Bilicki, for the ever love of Christ, please fade him and don't play Josh Bilicki. Zane Smith starting 36th. I can get there. Look, Spire is just mini Hendrick. Okay. Horrible in the short run of practice, but much like I mentioned earlier with Justin Haley, picks up as far as the long run goes. My biggest concern with him is, like I've mentioned a few other times, will he be able to pass enough cars in stage 1 to keep himself from going a lap down? That's the thing. That's basically the question you need to ask yourself for maybe from 25th on back, because lap times here go quick, and it's hard to pass in these next-gen cars. So, yeah, that's something you should be asking yourself. Can they advance far enough in stage 1 to be insulated from going a lap down? And last, but most certainly not least, the donkey chalk of the slate, one Denny Hamlin, 11-3 on DK, 14 on FanDuel. And I miscorrectly spoke earlier. I said Blaney was the second on the books. I was wrong. It's Hamlin. Hamlin's plus 450, Larson's 425, and Blaney's plus 550. Look, Hamlin crushed it in practice. Third, fourth, second. However, then he really crushed it as he backed it into the wall and smashed his primary car up, where they had to unload a backup car, and they did not get to perform a qualifying run. Denny Hamlin is, how many points out is he? He is 18 points from the playoff cutoff line. He's currently 6th in the playoff standings, and he is excellent here at Martinsville. Excellent. However, you do need to ask yourself the same things like I mentioned before. Can he pass enough cars in stage 1 to keep himself from going a lap down? You sure would think so, right? Based off his practice speeds, based off the books, based off of the fact that he needs a win. Well, he's minus 18. He doesn't need a win. He needs a pretty damn good day to make it into the playoffs. So I will be probably playing a little bit over the field on Denny just because of this scenario and what he needs to do on Sunday. However, if you want to fade him, I totally get it. Totally get it. Because, like I said, he will be the chalk of the slate. And it's Martinsville. Crazier things have happened. And that's it. That's it. We are through all 37 drivers. And we only have one race left after Martinsville. So hopefully the next gen car and these new tire package puts on a good show for us on Sunday. That's it. I'm going to wrap up and make myself a nice cup of evening coffee and finish up my notes for you fine folks on the site. As always, if you have any questions about the slate, please feel free to tag me on Discord. And as always, let's ship it.